Good morning from me and Project Ruby here. This time I'm going to be replacing the door lock key cylinders. Before I even get started, first thing I did was take these out of the box to make sure that they are the same. By the same I mean, notice how they are mirror images of each other. These do matter which side they go in, so I'm going to make extra sure that I get the right one. I'm going to do whichever side. I'm going to start with the passenger side. I'm going to start with removing the window crank. It's just a regular old number 2 Phillips screw. Oh, you know what? Before I do that, screw that back in. Let's roll this window all the way up, because it will be in your way if you don't. Okay, I'm going to kind of take a mental note of where this is so I can put it back in the same position when I put it back on. There we go. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to put this on the floor. Don't want to put it on the seat. Don't want to accidentally tear something. This door lock piece just unscrews. Set that there. I'll take out the ashtray. This should be easy enough since it doesn't have power windows or locks. So this shouldn't have any wires to fight. My other Thunderbird does have power locks and power windows, so you can unplug them if you want, but they have screws that hold them in. I normally just take this whole panel and shove it through the door panel as I'm pulling it off. This, get that open. Should just remove that out. I can just take this out and remove it entirely. So now it's completely out of the way. Neat pile on this disgusting floor. People are gross. And your last Phillips screw is here on the end. The next thing is the door handle. There's a bolt right behind here you have to remove. So I'm going to carefully pull this foam back. It is very, very difficult to move this and not tear it. Car's 40 some years old. Things start to deteriorate. It's a 7/16 hex. Bolts removed. Like I said, I'm going to try very hard to get this out without tearing it. Sometimes it works best to get the rubber outside of the door panel and then remove the handle. And as you can see, it did tear, unfortunately, but it will still function just the same. Now this next part, I strongly recommend getting something of this nature. They can be plastic. There's metal clips in the back of this door panel here, not plastic ones. So basically they grab really, really hard, and sometimes after being there for 30 years, they don't want to come out. And the only thing holding them into this door panel is literally cardboard. So you have to have something like this to avoid tearing the back of the door panel out of it. Should be one right here. Yep. And you go down the line, find the next one, and get it out. There you can run the pliers along the end of this here. You can see there's another one. And go around it, pry it out. There's the next one. Oop, didn't get around it. Oh, still not around it. It's over here. There we go. There we go. That one's really stuck. That's what I mean. If you had just pried in this panel, you would have tore that right out. There's a clip right here. It's already removed. The next one's right there. Oh, I forgot all about this. There is one more bolt right here that needs to come out. This is just a good reminder and a lesson to just not pull on stuff. Stuff like this, it should come off relatively easily. So now this whole panel is loose now. Might be another clip over here towards the top. There certainly is. Let's see if I can get underneath of it here, if I can find it. Yep, right on the corner. Fortunately, I'm fighting the door pillar, or the A-pillar for the windshield. There we go. And so now the door panel should come up, pull out, and then up. This paper barrier guard is something to be careful of too. I'm going to try to very carefully unstick the glue. Like I said, it's literally paper, so the odds of getting this off without tearing it are very slim. There's another clip over here. Trying to encourage the vapor guard of the paper to stay with the door. Oh, whoops, wish that didn't happen. Okay, there we are. There's our door panel. And you can see what I was talking about, how these literally go into cardboard. If I had pulled on those, it would have ripped right out. And then how do you fix that? And you can tell a couple of them did. Stuff's very fragile. These don't look too bad. It looks like the clips just came up and out and didn't tear out of the cardboard. So I shouldn't have any problem getting those back in. Okay, just went and found these two on the floor over there. They should just slide right back on. They just came up and out. They didn't get damaged. So that's good news. And even more fragile than the door panel is this vapor guard. It is literally just a sheet of paper with tape. Very carefully remove it. Grab the tape. Another piece right there. And a piece right there. There, we'll set this aside. I'm giving you a shot of the door here so you can be oriented with where I'm looking. Going for the key lock cylinder, which is right here. As you can see, if I can get a better light. I'm gonna undo this rod right here, and then this lock tab right here. This is gonna slide that way towards the outside of the door, which hopefully it doesn't hit and create a problem. And then this key lock cylinder will just pop right out. So this rod, hopefully you can see it, this little plastic tab right here, you push that over and then pull this rod straight out. That retaining tab that I thought was going to be a pain in the neck, turns out I just needed to open my eyes a little bit. It just goes right here. Just going to pry on that over. Got a little paper towel here so I can avoid scratching the paint when I pry against it. They always tell you to use the plastic tools so you don't scratch stuff, but they just bend and they suck really bad. So I recommend not getting them. Get the lock tab removed. I'll set that here in my disgusting pile. And then the lock cylinder just comes right out. So this is the part that I mentioned earlier that comes into play now. I need to figure out which one of these goes on the passenger side because they're mirror images of each other. To start here, that little extra meat on top of that keyhole, that goes up. So So I'm just going to hold that in the same orientation and flip it around. And just grab one here. Got same orientation, we'll flip it around. This is the wrong one. Do it again. Got the same orientation, flip them around. I could hold them straight. Now they go the same way. So I'm going to set that one out of here so I can't get them mixed up. But this is the right one I want to use. And getting these things out can be a trick and a half too. You just squeeze them and push them through, but getting them to actually fit and not break is really hard. You can buy these, but they're a little tricky to find. I just don't want to do that. Oop, there we go. Got it started. Don't lose progress. There we go. There you go. Managed to get it out without breaking a single clip. I'll install this on our new one. Just push it through. That easy. Make sure it doesn't come back out. This kit did come with seals. I'm going to use them. It came with new retaining tabs as well. I'm going to be sticking with the original one since just because obviously it was made for the car and it's not in bad shape. This looks like it would work, but I'm going to use the original one. Put the seal on. One notch in the seal is bigger than the rest of them, so it needs to go on the biggest notched out tab here. Get that all slid on. Alright, get our orientation correct. Just get a little tab, feed it through the hole. Pretty self-explanatory. There, I'm going to hold pressure up against that and install the retaining tab. It is okay to give these a slight tap with a hammer, but anything more than that, if it's not going, it's not right. And it's not wanting to go, so let's figure out what's stuck here. Something I should mention too, when this is in here, this lock tab is going to go behind these two ears just like that. So if you put this tab through the door and miss this, so if you get this clip and go like that, it will spread the fingers and go over it. It's not going to hold it right, and it's not. You're going to notice that. You're going to notice that. So you got to make sure that this is started behind those two ears before you start tapping on it. That I have that tab behind both ears on the lock cylinders. Now I'm going to tap it in. Put the rod in that hole, push it all the way in, make sure this little tab is out of the way so you don't break it off pushing the rod in. There you are, it's installed now. We just got to test it out. And before we get this door panel put back together, need to make sure it works. There's locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, okay. And then locked, unlocked, locked, unlocked, locked. Alright, we're going to put our vapor guard back on, our construction paper. Put it back to where it was, lay our tape back down. Surprised it even sticks again, but it does. That one doesn't really want to. But next we'll put the door panel on. We want to start by making sure this is unlocked because it'll be taller. I'll guide this into the unlock lock lever hole, whatever you call it, and get it lined up. And the door panel is like a little hook. The whole thing sits over the door. So you get it up top here, and I lost the rod. So the rod keeps wanting to lean towards the front of the car. It's super annoying. I got it started. I'm gonna just put this on a couple threads just to keep it from coming back out, because it's super annoying to get in there when it's falling in. So door panel needs to go back out, up, and over. Then once you get it set down on there like this, then it's just a matter of lining up the clips with their respective holes. And pushing them back in. We'll start with that bolt that I almost forgot about under the trim here. Putting in the ashtray here next. If you have the power windows and locks version of this, like I said, I personally just push it through the door panel when I pull it off. Otherwise, there's little nuts that hold on. The plugs are weird. I just don't like to mess with them. They're kind of brittle. So I just don't disconnect it if I don't have to. So 2 tabs here, slide this back in, and reinstall the screw for that. Put our window crank back on. It was about at this 10 o'clock position before, so I'm going to put it back where it was. And then while we're there, we'll make sure that our window, that we didn't move anything enough that our window is going to hit it. Next, we're on our inside door handle. The best luck I have with these is putting the handle in first and then putting the foam through, not putting the bolt in yet, because the space between the top of this trim and this door panel is pretty thin and it won't squish through there without ripping it. So I'm going to put the door handle through, push the handle up, push the bottom of the foam through, and I can push it down and get the top of the foam through and tear it as little as possible. There we go. And then I'm going to grab the foam, push it over here so I can get my bolt started in here. Sometimes I put the bolt in the socket first and use that to start it if I can't get my fingers in it. Give it a little snug and push the foam back into place. The door handle is functioning again. We'll get our last 3 screws here. The driver's side is just a mirror image of this. I went to test this earlier and I forgot to push record on the camera, but I forgot to screw this on the rest of the way after I got the door panel all on, and the bottom of this plastic piece was catching on this door panel here, so I went to lock it and the key wouldn't turn. And like I said, don't force it if it won't turn like that, you know, find the problem. So I screwed this back on, got it all working. So now with the camera actually recording, let's try it again. Lock. And it works just like it should. If you like this video or if it helped you out in some way, feel free to like and subscribe. Wanted to share a little tidbit about these Thunderbirds too. When I pulled off the driver's door panel, they have the build sheet and all the specs for the car taped to the inside of the door. Just kind of a fun fact. I've heard sometimes that they're underneath the rear seat. My other car had this in the driver's door as well. I think I'll probably take this out and keep it somewhere else just to help keep it safer. but it's pretty cool. This lock tab is going to go behind these two ears just like that. So if you put this tab through the door and miss this, so say, oh, that won't come off. Really? Okay. I got my ashtray here to go in next. Like I said, if you have the Power Windows and locks version, screws are falling out of it. I have no idea what that's from. Oh, there's mystery screws in here. Okay, don't need those. Let's do that again.